His debut on the show last week, Vince Poscente joins us to talk about, well, sometimes we can't get out of our own way to get stuff done when it comes to daily chores in our life.
Yep. Well, that's just it. It's almost like, Brian, you want to set yourself up to succeed rather than to have your hair on fire going, I gotta go. So.
You're right. You're right. Now, let me ask you a question while we're on this subject of daily routines. Give me an idea of how you start your day every day.
Well, just like you said, that gratitude, I mean, that is such a kickstart, almost like rocket fuel for the day. And one of the things I like to do, and it's kind of fun because there's a lot of trust in what I call your subconscious mind, we all call the subconscious mind, is to be able to understand that it may have a good idea, right? So I go, what is the path in front of me? And I kind of bring it to me. Now, it's in prayer or whatever, but being able to say, what is this path in front of me I need to pay attention to? And then all of a sudden it kind of does appear. So it's gratitude and then just kind of a trust to say, what's in front of me that needs to get taken care of today? And it sets the tone for your day.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about getting out of our own way. You mentioned here about procrastination on things like maybe paying bills or getting some of the, the heavy chores that you needed to do in your life. Walk us through how we can get past being gigantic procrastinators.
It's funny, going back to college, when I was in college, I went to a professor and I said, how do I stop procrastinating? Because you must have seen thousands of students. And he goes, well, you just start. And that didn't help. So let me give you a bit of a framework to work with here. And it was from research I found from a guy named Dr. Lee Poulos. And he found that in a second of time, your conscious mind is processing with 2,000 neurons, while your subconscious mind is processing with 4 billion neurons. So consciously, you're listening to me. You might be thinking, what am I going to do for the rest of my day? You might be thinking, he looks like Steve Martin, Glenn Beck. I don't know what. My wife says I look like the old man from Up.
Okay.
So whatever you're thinking consciously is with 2,000 neurons. But in the same second, 4 billion neurons are subconscious. Those are the ones in control. And the ratio between the conscious and subconscious mind is the exact same ratio between an ant and an elephant. So when we're talking about procrastination, we intend to go in a direction. We intend to do something, but the subconscious mind is the size of an elephant. It may be headed in a different direction. So consciously, you make a decision to go west, but what if you end up east and you're procrastinating? You go, here I am again. Why is this happening? So the trick is to be able to align your ant and elephant, to be able to have your conscious intention say, I'm going to get this done, and the subconscious agenda to head in that same direction. And that is the most important thing to accomplish and create that alignment.
I like it. Let's talk about moods. And I've heard people often say, if you're in a good mood, find out the reasons why you're in a good mood. And if you're in a bad mood, try to identify those things in your life that's causing you to have a bad mood, and guess what? Get away from it. What is some advice that you can give us right now that if we wake up just, quote, on the wrong side of the bed in a bad mood, what can we do to get in a good mood?
It's actually really simple. Ask yourself this question. Is this taking me closer to where I want to go or further away? So a bad mood is negativity, if you will. And just ask yourself, have your ant talk to your elephant, say, hey, is this in line with the vision of where I want to go today, with gratitude and all those kinds of things? If it's not, then try this. You can say this silently. Don't talk out loud to yourself or you get in that category. But to be able to say, well, thank you to the elephant, the subconscious mind, but that's not part of my vision. My vision is, and then you pivot onto where you want to go. If you want to add rocket fuel to that, add an emotional quotient to it. What would it feel like to have accomplished this vision of where you're headed? Now, if you don't have a vision, it's a good idea to set that first. But really ask yourself consistently, whenever something negative happens, a bad mood, is this taking me closer to or further away? If it's further away, thank you, that's not part of my vision, and then snap onto where you want to head.
Okay, before I let you go, let's talk about social media for 1 second. A lot of times, social media will be the one thing that puts you in a bad mood. Hey, should we all just log off? and start our day not getting on social media, but getting in the real world of our own mindset?
Yes, Brian, you couldn't be more accurate on that. And I'm finding myself do that. My kids introduced me to something, TikTok. Oh my God, that's a black hole. I mean, you get into this and you're, half an hour later to go, I feel dirty. Like, I feel like this just went sideways. What happened?
Oh,
and so I'm finding, like all of us, that you really have to switch it off. And now what I've gotten to, and I recommend to everybody I coach, is being able to be, define where you want to go with that day. So you're going to say, I'm only going to look at social media at this time of day. I'm only going to do it for 5 minutes, and I'm only going to look for stuff that enriches my life. If you set the parameters with social media, you will actually feel better and more positive and even laugh more often.
Good stuff there. I want people to go to your website real quickly. We'll put it down below, and we'll link it up on this online. Thank you so much, Vince, for joining us. You make us all start our day a little bit better.
Well, Brian, great to be with you. Have a great week.
Absolutely. Thank you.